Hi everybody. So I'm going to share my recipe for Nutella brownies, and we're going to turn them into mummy brownies for Halloween. So I'm excited to show you how to do this, and it is so easy and it is so delicious. So you are going to melt a stick of butter in a glass bowl in the microwave, and to that you're going to add a pinch of salt and 4 tablespoons of toasted milk powder. And I've explained what this is in other videos like the ultimate chocolate chip cookie recipe, but I'll say it again. All you need to do is take 2 cups of dry milk powder, put it in a glass microwavable bowl, and you are going to cook that 30 seconds at a time, whisking in between each 30 seconds until you have a brown toasty milk powder that looks like that light brown that I have. And it just adds this depth of flavor that you can get nowhere else except from toasted milk powder. So you don't have to have this in the brownies, but it really adds a lot of wow to your brownies. Now, once you have stirred in 4 tablespoons of toasted milk powder into your stick of melted unsalted butter and your pinch of salt, you're gonna add 4 large eggs, room temperature, to that. And then here comes the fun. You're gonna add 2 cups of Nutella. Nutella is just this chocolate hazelnut spread. It's kind of like peanut butter. It's delicious and amazing. And if you have little kids, then you know that they adore Nutella. Where was it when I was a kid? It's just so delicious. I use Nutella for so many different recipes. Like I'll make a brioche loaf, and I will, before I roll it up, I will add Nutella to the center of it and then roll it up and bake it like that. So delicious. It's just kind of nasty to get out of the container, but we can handle that. Now, once you have 2 cups of Nutella, then you're gonna whisk that all together. I think I need 1 more big scoop. I'll be ready to whisk. Okay, now, whisk all of your wet ingredients together like usual, and then you're gonna add 1.25 cups of flour plus 1 cup of mini semi-sweet chocolate chips. Sorry, I need a tap. Okay, so it's pretty thick. So you've got to work here. Build your muscles in your arms at this moment. Okay, so once the wet ingredients have all come together, then you're gonna add that flour, 1.25 cups, and whisk that until the flour disappears. And exactly when it does, no later, because you don't wanna over whisk, then you're gonna add 1 cup of mini semi-sweet chocolate chips. Now we're going to put this in a sheet pan today, and it's a 12 by 15 sheet pan. But you could just as easily have this recipe and put it in an 8 by 8. Just make sure whatever container you decide to put it in, that you use baking spray with flour so you can get these out, because we are going to cut them into the shape of a sarcophagus, like an elongated hexagon, and then we're going to put a little mummy on it, and I'll show you how to make that in just 1 second. So in go my mini chocolate chips. And then fold that all together. There's a huge debate in my house about brownies. My husband swears that box brownies are the best, and my children and I, who have been eating Nutella brownies all their lives, believe that these Nutella brownies are the best. So at first, we would have a bake-off where I would do the box brownies versus the Nutella brownies, and then everybody would have a blind taste-off to see which one was the best. And as the years have progressed, I switched back and forth, and nobody ever knows which way I went, whether they were boxed or they were Nutella brownies. I've got that man so confused. He doesn't know which one it is anymore. So if you want some giggles and some fun on a Friday night, try making brownies 2 different ways to see if your family can determine which is which. So I'm going to spread this batter into my 12 by 15 sheet pan that I have prepared. I put a silk mat in it, but you could also put parchment paper. Just make sure that you have prepared it with baking spray with flour. So I'm gonna spread this out and put it in my oven at 350, and then I'll show you what's next. Oven right now, and I'm gonna make the decoration while they're doing their thing. So all I did was take some dark chocolate melting wafers. I dumped the whole bag into a microwavable bowl, and I microwaved it for 1 minute, and then I stirred until it was silky smooth. I'm gonna take a Mummy chocolate mold that I got on Amazon, and I am going to fill up the little cavities with this melted chocolate. And you don't need to go all the way to the brim of it, simply because we're not making chocolate bars. We're just making a little chocolate decoration for the top of the brownies. So I don't think it needs to be solid. So, and you want to be able to go as far as you can with that bag of chocolate as possible, and do a lot of brownies for people and for yourselves. So once you have filled that up, you're gonna put it in the refrigerator for 5 minutes. And once the 5 minutes are up, you're going to bring this out and pop it out onto your counter. And then I'm taking some gold luster dust. This is edible luster dust. And you're just going to take your pastry brush and very gently just put the very tip of the bristles into the gold. And it is potent stuff. So once you get that little tiny tip, you are going to dust that onto your chocolate mummies that are now cold from being in the refrigerator. And I just want to show you, you just keep brushing and brushing, how beautiful those are. And I'll do the rest of those later, but I also wanted to make a cookie cutter the shape of a sarcophagus. So all I did was use my ruler to make little inch lines, 3 up top, and then long lines that were the length of my chocolate mold. So once you have that chocolate mold, it'll be really easy for you to determine how big your sarcophagus cookie cutter should be. And since I didn't have one this shape, I just decided to make it out of parchment. So once my brownies have come out of the oven and cooled for 5 minutes, I'll flip them out and then cut them into the shape of the sarcophagus, and then I'll put the golden mummy onto the brownie and they'll be good to go. Hi everyone, so I decided last minute while my brownies were cooling that I was going to make a buttercream just to stick the mummies to. So here's what I did. 2 sticks of room temperature butter plus a half a cup of Nutella, 4 cups of powdered sugar, a tablespoon of vanilla, and a pinch of salt. And I just whipped that until it was light and fluffy. Now, I baked my brownies for 14 minutes in the oven at 350. Once that was done, I flipped it onto my counter to cool completely because we don't want that buttercream to melt. So now that they have cooled, I took my little makeshift parchment cookie cutter that I made and I laid it onto the brownies, and I just cut away to make this sarcophagus shape. Then I took my buttercream, my Nutella buttercream, and I put it on top of the brownie. And of course, if the brownie's too hot still, then the buttercream's gonna melt, so wait till it cools. Then I took my little golden mummies that I made, and I'm just placing that right on top, and they are just so beautiful and so yummy because I've been eating the scraps. But you know, those scraps you can push back together to still cut sarcophagus shapes out of, so you won't waste a scrap. I hope that you have enjoyed watching me make these Nutella brownies, and I hope that I've inspired you to perhaps even have a little bake-off at your house to see what type of brownie is best for your family. Happy Halloween!